Yo, what's going on, guys? Dylan here, coming at you from, you can't really see it, but I'm in Auckland, New Zealand. I just flew in a couple of days ago from Bali. Now, the thing I want to talk about today is working with an 8-figure entrepreneur recently. His name is William Brown. You can find him on YouTube, you can find him on all major social platforms, and he's blowing up within the info product consulting space, online consulting space, over the past year, 2 years. And he's known for simplicity when it comes to business systems, when it comes to scaling, building, scaling, or exiting your online business. And so obviously it's an industry at the moment that is really popping off for many people. If you have a zone of genius, like I just mentioned, if you have something that you're interested in life, excuse me, it is 2025, and so it is very easy to get started with that and make it full-time income. And not only a full-time income, but get to a level where you could be one of those people that exit your online business, your online info product, whatever it is, for multiple millions, just like Will did. And so Will exited a finance offer, I believe it was last year, for about 17 million US. And dude has been around. He's grown an epic audience online, and so I got to work privately with him. He hired me about 6 weeks ago now to come in, and really the goal was to, well, when I spoke with him, I just analyzed his lifestyle to begin with, and his goals. And his goal that he told me was, he said, "Dylan, I want to be a billionaire." Now, that's like not an easy statement to say to someone, like that you want to be a billionaire. And there was a lot of probing that I did in and around our first consultation together. But the plan was that I would actually go into his villa and build him a new lifestyle, really. And the goal, the outcome that he was wanting was a healthier, more vibrant body that was reflective in the way that it looked, obviously, aesthetically. But then internally speaking, he wanted higher focus. He wanted better attention. He wanted to be sharper, because he understands that in order to achieve any outcome in this reality, you need to become the person first, and then the outcome follows. And so really, for like one of the lessons that I want to start with is that most people operate their lifestyle from the formula of have the thing, do the process, and then you become the person. So have the $1 million, and then with the $1 million you do the actions that make you the millionaire, right? You buy the car, you buy the house, whatever it is. And then from there, you become the millionaire, you become the identity. But this is false, and this is never how the universe has ever worked. You always become the person first. You enter into the new identity, and then from that place you can start to action towards the final outcome, right? And so if the formula that humanity really follows, the formula that most people follow, it is have, do, be. Have the thing, do the actions, become the person. Then I want to rewire that for you for a moment here. You need to become the person first. So you need to become, in Will's case, the billionaire, in terms of the internal wiring of how you look at life, your viewpoints, your belief set, or what I actually call your God set, because your highest beliefs operate as God to you. And then when you have those subconscious shifts, you really do start to step into the actions of what would end up becoming the outcome that you need. And so if you look at any high-level entrepreneur, they understand this. If you look at any high-level athlete, they do this too. If you look at someone like Kobe Bryant, he was doing quite well in the NBA when he first entered it, and he was a young gun, but he was religious in putting the actions in, so he practiced a lot. But that wasn't even enough. It wasn't until he met his performance coach that he had a rewiring of the identity, which was what we know today to be the Black Mamba. And so this particular performance coach helped him design this alter ego where he would step into the court as the Black Mamba, and he would leave behind Kobe Bryant as we know him. And so there was like little things that they would do inside the lifestyle design to really eliminate the need to be anyone else outside of this Black Mamba character. So in the morning, Kobe would get up and his clothes would be at the end of his bed, and then he would get changed and his food would be ready, and then he would have his food, and then the car would be waiting with the door open. And so basically they eliminated every single action. His performance coach did this for him inside his lifestyle. But they eliminated every single action between him having to be Kobe and him having to be this Black Mamba character. And it was really that identity that Kobe got well known for, both in the NBA and then obviously through the outcomes of such character, which led him to 5 championships over his career, and obviously one of the more formidable players to ever touch a basketball. So that's just one example. There's obviously many others of high performing athletes, high performing musicians, and there's nuances to each industry that you touch. And so in Will's case, he's an entrepreneur. He spends a lot of his time dealing with clients, and it's really like at his level, it's really like strategies matter, of course, like you need to pick your industries well, but at his level, it's really an internal gain. That's all that really matters at that level. If you're obviously starting out and you're trying to get to your first like 10K month, you're trying to build a business from scratch, that can be a little bit different. It's like more so you just putting one foot in front of the other and letting the actions present the way forward as you start to even begin to learn who you really are in the game of business. But in Will's case, he does know who he is in the game of business. He's obviously had a lot of proof and evidence behind some of his client testimonies and results he's gotten for hundreds and hundreds of other entrepreneurs, that he is a certain way. And so in some ways it can actually be a lot easier and a lot harder in order to crack into a new identity and crack into a new maybe even ethos to follow in order to get to your next outcome. And so we worked together for 30 days. I came in and I did all the obvious external things. I switched up his environment, his routine, his nutrition, his training plan. We were doing daily meditation, like focus work. We even built him an alter ego for the gym, because like I said, one of his goals was to become someone different externally too. And so we did that, and there were so many other tools, bells and whistles, right? Like supplementation, we were using peptides. We threw literally the kitchen sink at it, and it worked. Like externally, the results spoke for themselves. He dropped about 13 pounds in a few weeks. And he was getting compliments from his girlfriend. He was getting compliments from when he would speak at masterminds and things at other events. People were coming up to him and saying, what's changed? You look so different. But the shift that I was more stoked with was at the end of the 30 days, I asked him, what was the biggest thing? Like what was the one or two things that really you feel that are different compared to who you were before? And he commented on the work. He's obviously like, yeah man, the hyper focus is unreal. I've never had this level of clarity in my thoughts. Like I've been able to really focus in on what I want to do. Like each day feels like I've got more time. And that was due to the routine shifting. We were getting him up early. So there was like things like that were just very practical. But the one thing that he said that really stuck out to me was he said, I feel like I've gained a new level of consciousness. I feel like I've gained a new level of consciousness. In other words, I've tapped into a new field of awareness where I can think from a higher place. And I think this is really the lesson that I just want to drop with you guys, at least in this first video. When we're trying to achieve anything in life, obviously the formula matters, which I just mentioned before. We're really just trying to go and think from a higher place. Like you think of a billionaire, quote actually by JP Morgan, who says billionaires focus on strategy, billionaires focus on astrology. Whether you believe in astrology or not is irrelevant. The point is, when you're trying to do big things in this game of reality, right, it really does matter where you're thinking from. And so if you're thinking from a place of lower vibration, which I'll explain in another video, but if you're carrying around dense emotions, if you're not applying yourself to a way of being that comes from a really like high level down, you get stuck in the weeds, you get stuck in the details, you get stuck in your head. And then you're limited because it's you versus the world. Instead of you tapping into what many people will call God, your higher self. Carl Jung would talk about it as your subconscious mind. Rewiring this place and really coming down from, like I said, like a high level viewpoint will ultimately direct you a lot faster towards the outcomes that you desire. Now, ironically, on that point, it matters a lot that you don't desire, because it's typically coming from a place of lack. It's telling the universe, it's telling God, it's telling reality that you don't have it. Oh, that is windy. I think I can hear it okay. Madness here in Auckland. But the law of nature really is like, you need to like attracts like, and so you need to be coming at it from a place when you're trying to achieve the outcome of, I already have this because I'm already the person. And so simply it's just about becoming the person day in, day out internally that then reflects into your routine or reflects into your relationships with people. And you'll naturally, as a byproduct, become a better leader because you're now emitting what people call an aura. Comes out the top of your head and it wraps around like a big donut to the base of your feet. It's a big torsion field. And so it's a real thing that can actually be measured. We just can't see it with our sensory inputs or like our eyes. But many people can feel it. It's like the sixth sense, right? And so anyway, to develop that level of aura where you start to magnetize clients towards you, and I've got another story on that for another time, how I've been able to magnetize clients towards me without having to do any marketing. Will was one of these clients, by the way. When you start to really develop this internal world and you start to focus on it, your aura, your field starts to resonate at a higher frequency, and you watch as life starts to happen for you. And one of the beliefs I hold is that everything is for me. I believe everything is for you, but you've got to let it be. And so one way you can do that is by letting go, surrendering, as the Bible or Jesus talks about, right? Surrender, take up your cross and follow me. I don't believe Jesus was actually talking about physically taking up a cross. It's more of a, like I said, like a way of being whereby you surrender the old way of you, where you had to force everything into existence, where you had to force reality to bend to your will. And now it becomes a game of everything is already done. It is finished, so to speak. And you simply just need to step into your new reality. Everything is for me. Nothing is against me. Though I walk through the valley of death, I will fear no evil. Because you realize that energy never dies. And you are energy.